All right, all right, all right. I hope we are live and we are streaming here. Of course, this is the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago. Lewis will be joining us on Saturday for WrestleMania, so he'll be here live for it. But with just 5 days before WrestleMania 41, WWE Raw emanated from the Golden One Center in Sacramento with an episode brimming with some of the biggest stars in the industry, headlined by CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins under one whole roof. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 5 days away from WrestleMania, and this WrestleMania week is so fucking amazing. You will have a lot of things coming from us. Of course, the WrestleMania predictions that will be on this Thursday at 6 p.m. I will be doing both nights, so you guys get a refresher. Of course, we'll look up the Wikipedia, and we'll read it, and we'll get it out of the way, and I'll give you my take and thoughts on who I think is winning, and who is losing, and who's going to walk out of WrestleMania successful. But what went down with three men in Saturday Night Main Event? With the role, and what role did Paul Heyman play amid his increasing significance to the layered storyline? Some of that might not have made sense. But of course, it's a recap of my cousin's birthday, April 14th, of course, episode of Monday Night Raw. So I can't wait for what's going to happen. Also, as WWE announced, the Hall of Fame will be literally at 1 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday. So 1 a.m. in the morning after fucking SmackDown goes off the air, because they have to set up, they have to prep, and all that. So, yeah. It's going to be a doozy. That'll be following SmackDown. The predictions are pretty good. I've already written mine down. I think I'm all set and good for predictions. You'll get the Saturday and Sunday watch along. So I hope everybody's in the live. Again, 6:30 we'll be setting it up. So you'll get to see that. So big week this week. But what happened on Raw? Well, I can tell you that we kicked off with Gunther delivering one of his best promos of his WWE career, a defiant one in response to Uso's threats from a week ago. Despite claiming to be in full control of his actions and not at all shaken by the number one contender, he was clearly rattled as he vowed to defeat Uso Saturday night in Vegas. For all of his claims that he is in control, he clearly wasn't. This was not the ring general fans are familiar with. He marched to the ring ahead of a schedule, wore street clothes, and let the reaction from the WWE Universe frustrate him. He lacked the confidence that has been a trademark of his career in WWE. Gunther unraveled before our eyes, and no promise to beat Uso for the fourth consecutive time will change what fans witnessed in his opening segment. The challenger for WrestleMania 41 may not be afraid of the ring general, but this proves the same cannot be said of Gunther in relation to Uso. So they're both gonna throw down. At the end of the day, the bell has to ring, and when that happens, you still can't lace my boots, and I will put you down for the fourth consecutive time, he warned. 2 weeks ago, when I took a bath in your brother's blood, I was in full control and I loved it. Oh my God. The way that Gunther came off, man, this was so great. A++++++. Fucking give it all the pluses it deserves, man. Gunther is so fucking good. This match is so good. But WWE cannot let that momentum slip. So we need to hear Uso's response to it. But what came next, of course, was Liv Morgan, the homewrecker, taking on Bayley. Liv Morgan has never defeated Bayley in a singles competition on Monday Night Raw, and that did not change. With the action breaking down late in the match, Raquel Rodriguez booted down Lyra Valkyria only to eat a stunner from Bayley. Morgan attempted to capitalize with the Oblivion, only for Valkyria to assist her tag team partner in blocking the move. The role model earned the victory from there, building even more momentum for her and Valkyria ahead of their Sunday match against the women's tag team champions. A second strong showing from Bayley, who remains as good as ever between the ropes, even if her creative lacks. She and Valkyria may not win the tag team titles this weekend, but if they can bring some chemistry we saw between the Victor and Morgan here, fans could be in for a treat in Vegas, which is true. I mean, I don't with Valkyria being the Intercontinental Champion, I don't see them winning the tag team titles. So there's a prediction that you can probably get right now. I think Liv and Raquel retain against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. With that said, the heels showed some great intensity throughout this one. Not just looking to build momentum entering WrestleMania, but also finally erasing that 0 in her win-loss record against Bayley. I guess. Rey Mysterio took on Julius Creed in a pretty exciting match, as Rey Mysterio appeared to have gained some momentum ahead of his WrestleMania match with El Grande Americano, taking on Julius Creed in a strong singles contest Monday night, only for El Grande Americano to lay him out. His mask loaded with metal, he fed it off LWO during an attempt to save, and left him lying, too. The attack came at the conclusion of the match, in which Creed continued to impress with his raw athleticism and ability to work great matches against any opponent from any background. There was a spot or two that wasn't exactly smooth, but Creed and Mysterio recovered nicely, and the result was a match that earned chants of "This is awesome" from the fans in Sacramento. There's a good song in Sacramento. You go check it out. Look up the Rock concert. If you can find it fucking anywhere. The match between Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano should have been actually on this Raw. It should have been one of this. Feels like one of those Raws that they should have had here. Doesn't feel like a WrestleMania match to me, honestly. But it has potential to be a fun one. And a potential ode to WrestleMania, what is that, 9? Oh, the double, okay. I didn't watch any of the old WrestleMania like that. But whatever. Sure. Chad Gable and whoever in that ring. Honestly, could be Julius. Julius Creed and fucking Gable could actually, pull it off, maybe. Alright, B+. Rey Mysterio's fine. We got to our next match. The biggest takeaway of AJ Styles and Karrion Kross match was not the Phenomenal One's victory ahead of WrestleMania 41 showdown against Logan Paul, but rather the renewed emphasis on the other superstar in the match, Karrion Kross. Because Karrion Kross was the star here, working through a spot or two that did not go as planned, and still turning in a performance that gave fans a reason to suspect he may be in line for a post-WrestleMania push. Potentially. After Styles delivered the phenomenal forearm that earned him the victory, Logan Paul interrupted and threw to a highlight reel featuring his great in-ring exploits. Kross attacked Styles, who fended him off, but fell prey to the pulverizer from the social media star. Stood tall to close out the segment, and of course they're built in their match. So Styles pulling off a victory here, and of course Logan Paul getting in some shots, because Kross would attack Styles, which led to Paul to hit his finisher. Their match is going to be fun. Everybody getting mad that AJ shouldn't have been Paul. This is the, fuck off. Did you, let me ask you a question, all right? People getting mad that Styles has to face Logan Paul. Did you want Cena to face Logan Paul? I didn't think so. I think you want him to win his 17th World Champion, so shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. But speaking of someone who's not going to shut the fuck up, in response to Gunther's warning earlier, and in preparation for the biggest match of his career, Jey Uso entered the arena through the crowd and proceeded to cut a promo on the commentary table. Of course, without mentioning he got a little more of a, yeet in. Uso claimed the ring general was afraid and that he was going to get him at Gillette State, at Elgin State. I hope I said it right. Elgin Stadium on Saturday. It was short, sweet, and to the point, and we love that. I love that. There was nothing left to say. Uso issued his warning to Gunther last week, and after calling him out, he returned to the fans who have been so instrumental in his opportunity. And again, look at the fucking crowd. You cannot drop the ball on this, because it would not make sense. I know what the IWC will fucking do. 100 fucking % will get pissed that Uso won. Motherfucker, look at the fucking crowd. All right. LA Knight might have not been able to do it against Roman Reigns, but Jey Uso can do it against Gunther. Don't get that fucking confused. Look at how much fucking appeal Uso has. Gunther shouldn't beat. He should dominate. Don't get me wrong. He should dominate Jey Uso, but Jey Uso perseveres. Just like Sami Zayn did the year previously. I know I've said before that Gunther should hold the title for a year, but let's be honest. You're going to run out of opponents for him. And you got to have Gunther be able to do something afterwards, right? So, I don't know. Maybe take a hiatus, take a break, and then we'll come back and find something for him. Until then, Uso needs to be the babyface that fucking really, really, because this story would not make sense because it gates back literally to that Saturday night main event where Gunther beat him. It really dates back to that. But anyway, graded an A, and this should have been a plus there. It should have been a fucking fat plus there. Penta and Finn Balor had a match, of course, ahead of their Sunday Fatal 4-Way match for the IC title. Penta squared off with Finn Balor in a contest between two immensely important figures in the modern wrestling history. Balor reminded the world why he's a former world champion, taking the fight to the luchador and even surviving the sacrifice arm breaker to stay in the fight. Now, of course, who else but Distractions by Dominic and Carlito made their presence felt late on words. But Braun Breaker came out, hit the scene, and Carlito had flashbacks. He had very big flashbacks of last week. He was like, oh shit, gotta get the fuck out of here. Braun Breaker came speeding down that aisleway, got in the ring, and clotheslined the fuck out of Finn Balor. And that drew a DQ. Carlito Mysterio got double speared, which everybody, woo, with the dogs in the house. He was about to spear Penta, but Penta, of course, kicked him and, of course, sent him out of the ring before flying and having Breaker, Carlito, and Mysterio on the ground as Penta and Balor basically had a stare down with each other down the alleyway. This was a solid match that led to more of the same creatively from these four superstars. The weekend's bout will likely be exciting and excellent. But the build has been rather one-dimensional in recent weeks, mostly centering on Balor and Mysterio's diminishing relationship as personal desires trump what is best for the Judgment Day. So Balor wins with a disqualification. Okay, B-, sure, whatever. And then, of course, the final hype. Just days before they take center stage on Saturday night's main event of WrestleMania 41, Seth Rollins sent a message to CM Punk and Roman Reigns, leaving both lying and Heyman terrified to close the show. The Visionary capitalized on a brawl that ensued between Punk and the Tribal Chief after Reigns shoved Heyman to the ground. With both men distracted, Rollins delivered a steel chair shot to Reigns in the back. One that actually fucking, kind of almost called back to the Shield days over a decade ago. Then put an exclamation point on things with a stomp to Punk. Before that, Rollins and Reigns agreed on one thing. Heyman making good on Punk's favor to accompany him to the squared circle at WrestleMania was a choice. But why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because he promised he would back in 2013. And Heyman, we don't break promises, do we? That is a question that will likely be answered in Vegas in Punk's first WrestleMania main event. For now, this was solid, if unspectacular segment that added nothing new of note. It's almost as if the show could have gone off the air after Penta and Breaker, and it would have lost nothing. Still, Rollins' chair shot was a nice callback to the moment that forever altered who Roman Reigns would become. I wouldn't grade this. This grade should get changed to a B-, but in this whole show should be a B-, if not, right? Why is he choosing Punk over you? Now, I love when Roman said, tell me when why I'm supposed to carry the tab of your dumbass favor. Now, Rollins made what Roman did after is you made your choice, I made mine. If you guys remember, that's another callback, right? It calls back to Jey Uso leaving the family, actually. If you remember that, fucking Uso was like, you know what, I'm done with this shit. He kicked Reigns, and then when you thought everything was fine between him and his brother, right? He kicks his brother. This is the same thing with Reigns. Reigns attacks Seth Rollins, throws him out. Heyman thinks we're all back to normal, and then Roman shoves him. We're not. Nothing's changed. Nothing's new. This was a show where individual pieces were better than the overall product. There was some quality in reaction. Bayley and Morgan, Mysterio and Creed. There were some strong segments. Gunther crashing out in the opening promo. And, of course, Jay getting excited with the fans about WrestleMania. However, Monday Night Raw lacked a sense of urgency that not even a star-studded promo segment at the end could resolve. The results of the show felt more like a pendulum, right? I don't even know what the fuck that word. I don't know what this word says. Anyway, it basically feels like filler a bit, sort of, on the road to WrestleMania instead of the final one. But it's okay because WWE can make that up after WrestleMania, right? The Raw after WrestleMania is the more important one where you get to see people come back, right? This is where a lot of things this is where the Raw after WrestleMania is so important because now it starts up to build to, of course, Backlash and what's coming next. So I will be taking that Raw and we'll be doing that. And I won't set that Raw up until I set up the SmackDown one. So after, once I set up the SmackDown one later in the week, after I do the predictions, I'll set up the Raw for next week. But until then, this grade should be changed to a B-. I felt like the show was pretty strong with everything that it is, but yes, the individual pieces were better than the overall product, which sucked. And the lack of urgency did not help this either. So WWE hopefully will succeed with WrestleMania tickets fucking and making a profit, and hopefully the results are fucking there. But as far as I'm concerned, I can't wait for WrestleMania. I hope you guys can't wait for WrestleMania. This has been the Raw review of April 14th. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are. Remember, predictions live stream here this Thursday in 2 days. You can wait 2 days, right? You guys can wait 2 days for me to go into it about predictions. But we will have a watch-along on Saturday and Sunday, and you will get the SmackDown. You'll get the SmackDown summary on that Saturday, early in the morning, 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. in the morning. It's set up, so you'll get that. But please, if you can do me a favor, right? If you guys can do me a favor, all right? I'll owe you a favor, right? Because everything's about favor. It's about, everything's about favors. Please subscribe to the channel, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications so you'll never miss a live stream from me. But get off my screen. Until then, I'll see you guys on Thursday and Saturday.